Hello class, I welcome you all to this session. This session we are going to discuss about capital structure under financial management and financial planning chapter. So capital structure means a mix between the owner's fund and the borrowed funds. See, in any capital structure of any company, you have components of equity and debt. So the mix between the both is discussed in the capital structure. Capital structure formula includes the proportion of debt and equity used for financing the operations of a business. So it is calculated as a debt equity ratio, which is debt divided by equity, or financial leverage, that is debt divided by debt plus equity. So it is you have to calculate what is the debt component, what is the equity component to identify the capital structure formula. Next is the EBIT EPS analysis. The impact of financial leverage on profitability of a business can be seen through EBIT and EPS analysis. EBIT is earnings before interest and tax, EPS is earnings per share. The impact of financial leverage on profitability. Company X Limited has total capital employed of rupees 30 lakhs, tax rate is 30%, EBIT rupees 4 lakhs. There are three situations that's given. Situation 1, there is no debt, unlevered business. If there is no debt, then you do not have any leverage. That is, you do not have any leverage in the business, so it's an unlevered business. Uh, Situation 2, there is a debt of rupees 10 lakhs at 10% per annum interest. Then situation 3, there is debt of rupees 20 lakhs at 10% per annum interest. Now, situation 1, earnings before interest and tax is the profit that you have before payment of interest towards loan and before payment of tax. Okay, so that is 4 lakhs given in the question. Less interest, because since situation 1 does not have any debt, you do not have any interest, so you have EBT, earnings before tax. Then less tax at 30 percentage, the 30 percentage on 4 lakhs will be 1 lakh 20,000. Earnings after tax is 4 lakhs minus the tax component 1 lakh 20,000, which is 2 lakh 80,000. The number of shares of rupees 10, if it is 10, then 3 lakhs. So you have EPS, that is EAT, earnings after tax divided by number of shares. So 0.93. This is the component. So this is situation 1. What is situation 2? Situation, there is a debt of rupees 10 lakhs at 10% per annum interest. So EBIT is 4 lakhs less interest, which is 1 lakh. EBT is earnings before tax 3 lakhs less tax at 30% is 90,000. EAT is 2 lakh 10,000. Number of shares of rupees 10, then it will be 2 lakhs because there is a debt of 10 lakhs. So 20 lakhs will be the equity. So 20 lakhs divided by 10 will be 2 lakh shares. So EPS, earnings per share, will be EAT, that is 2 lakh 10,000 divided by number of shares 2 lakhs, it is 1.05. So earnings per share has increased if there is a debt. Then situation 3, if there is a debt of 20 lakhs at 10% per annum interest, 4 lakhs is the EBIT less interest because 20 lakhs is there, 20 lakhs into 10% is 2 lakhs. Earnings before tax is 2 lakhs, so less tax at 30% 60,000. So earnings after tax will be 1 lakh 40,000. Number of shares of rupees 10, so it is 1 lakh because out of 30 lakhs capital employed, 20 lakhs is debt, which means 10 lakhs is the equity. So 1 lakh shares. So EPS will be EAT divided by number of shares, which is 1.40. Now EPS is raising with higher debt. You can see here, when the debt was 10 lakhs, the EPS, earnings per share, will be 1.05. If the debt component is 20 lakhs, then the earnings per share will be 1.40. So EPS is raising with higher debt because the cost of debt is lower than the company's return on investment. So return on investment can be calculated with the help of formula EBIT divided by total capital employed into 100. So return on investment will be 4 lakhs divided by 30 lakhs into 100, which is 13.33. favorable financial leverage because the return on investment is higher than the cost of debt. The impact of financial leverage on profitability. See, there is example 2. Company Y Limited has total capital employed of rupees 30 lakhs. Tax rate is 30%. EBIT rupees 2 lakhs. Three situations are considered. Situation 1, there is no debt, unlevered business. Situation 2, there is debt of rupees 10 lakhs at 10% per annum interest. Situation 3, there is debt of 20 lakhs at 10% per annum interest. So situation 1, EBIT, you have 2 lakhs because there is no debt, there is no interest. EBT will be equal to EBIT, so 2 lakhs. Less tax component at 30% on 2 lakhs is 60,000. EAT, earnings after tax, will be 1,40,000, 2 lakh minus 60,000. Number of shares of rupees 10, so 3 lakh shares. Then EPS will be EAT divided by number of shares, which is 0.47. Then situation 2, there is a debt of 10 lakhs at 10% per annum interest. 2 lakhs less interest 1 lakh because 10 lakhs into 10% would be 1 lakh. EBT is 1 lakh. Tax rate is 30%, so 30,000 gone. EAT is 70,000. EAT is 70,000. Then number of shares of rupees 10 is 2 lakhs. So EPS is EAT divided by number of shares 0.35. Okay. And then you have situation 3, there is a debt of rupees 20 lakhs at 10% per annum. So 2 lakhs less interest 2 lakhs, EBT is nil, less tax at 30% which is nil, and EAT is nil because EBT is itself is nil, so there is no tax, and EAT is no tax, so 1 lakh is the number of shares, so EPS will be nil. There is no earnings per share at all. In the third situation, EPS of the company falls with increased debt as the return on investment is less than cost of debt. So this is an important finding here. So when the return on investment is less than the cost of debt, then EPS will fall. So you can find out the return on investment here, EBIT divided by total capital employed. So EBIT is 2 lakhs divided by earnings before interest and tax is 2 lakhs divided by 30 lakhs capital employed into 100, which is 6.67%. Unfavorable financial leverage, which is equal to the return on investment is less than cost of debt, which is 10%. So you can look into this, the previous slide. Since EBIT was 4 lakhs, you had a favorable financial leverage. So 13.33 return on investment, and cost of debt was 10%. So return on investment is higher than the cost of debt, then it is a favorable financial leverage. But in the second scenario, EBIT is 2 lakhs, which gives a return on investment of 6.67%, which is less than the cost of debt. So there is an unfavorable financial leverage. The company that achieves the optimum capital structure will maximize the shareholders' wealth. The risk return trade off is essential for an optimum capital structure. The factors affecting the choice of capital structure. There are some factors, important factors, which affects the choice of the capital structure. One is the risk consideration. Debt increases the financial risk. Business risk increases if there is a high financial fixed operating cost. Okay, so if there is a high fixed operating cost, then there is going to be a business risk. Total risk is going to be financial risk plus business risk. Financial risk is nothing but the ability of the concern to pay its interest towards debt and principal, okay, towards the loan. If a firm total business risk is lower, its capacity to use debt is higher, and vice versa. So you cannot have both the risk high at simultaneously. Either if you have financial risk, then you should have lower business risk. So risk consideration is one factor. The second one is the cost of debt. Expected rate of return of lenders on debt capital for assuming risk. So expected rate of return of lenders on debt capital for assuming risk. So any person who is lending money into the business, he would expect the return based on the risk he is taking. So more debt can be used if cost of debt is low. You should find out what is the cost of debt. If cost of debt is low, then you can use more debt. Then The third factor will be tax rate. The interest of debt is a tax deductible expenses. When you are doing your final accounts in the P&L account, you would charge the interest component on loan. Then only you will find out the profit. After the profit, then only you will calculate the tax rate. So interest of debt is a tax deductible expenses. Cost of debt is affected by the tax rate. Higher tax rate makes debt more cheaper. Okay, so higher the tax rate, it makes more debt more cheaper. So you should be in a position higher tax rate, more debt, it's cheap. Then return on investment. When return on investment is more than rate of interest on debt, more debt can be used to increase the EPS. So we had seen the example 1 and example 2. If return on investment is more debt can be used. If return on investment is less than the cost of debt, definitely you should not use too much of debt. The fifth component is cash flow position. Size of projected cash flow must be considered before borrowing. Cash payment obligations. So, business operations, investment in fixed assets, meeting debt commitments. Okay, so cash payment obligations is business operations, investment in fixed assets, meeting debt commitments. So, cash flow position is an important factor because based on the cash flow structure only you will be able to pay the business operations cash payments, interest payments, investment in fixed assets, that is debt commitments are nothing but interest payments. Thus a company can use debt to increase EPS only if there are sufficient cash inflows. Then factors affecting the choice of capital structure. The sixth point you're going to look into is cost of equity, that is expected rate of return on equity capital for assuming risk. So equity shareholders, based on the risk, they would be in a position to demand more dividend. Okay, on usage of debt the financial risk increases because debt you definitely are supposed to pay interest, but in equity if you have profits you pay dividend, otherwise you will not pay anything. The desired rate of return for the equity shareholders also increase. The desired rate of return for the equity shareholders also increase. Thus debt cannot be used beyond a point. So debt cannot be used beyond a point. So desired rate of return for the equity shareholders also increase if there is more debt in the capital structure because of the risk factor. The seventh point is flotation cost, the cost of raising funds. What is meaning by flotation cost? The cost of raising funds. If it is a public issue, if the company wants to issue in a public issue to make the public purchase its equity shares or preference shares, then you need a more flotation cost. Okay, but loans from financial institution involves less flotation cost, that is the cost of raising funds. Then the eighth factor is the control. Debt does not cause a dilution of management because equity share, if you are issuing equity shares, then it will lead to dilution of management. Okay, dilution of the ownership in the management because there's going to be new owners entering into the owners structure. So debt is just a borrowing funds, it's a third party fund, it does not involve dilution of management. Ninth one is flexibility. If firm uses its debt potential to the full, it loses flexibility to issue further debt. Okay, so you cannot use your entire debt possibility. You should keep some sort of leverage in the future, otherwise the firm will lose its flexibility to issue further debt at the time of need. 10th one is the interest coverage ratio, ICR. Interest coverage ratio can be calculated with the help of formula EBIT divided by interest. Okay, it is the number of times the earnings before interest and tax covers the interest. Okay, higher ICR is meaning lower risk of company failing to pay obligation. Lower in ICR, higher rate of company failing to pay obligation. So you should always keep higher ICR so that your company's ability to pay obligation is high. Okay, so that the risk is low. The 11th factor, the 11th factor is debt service coverage ratio, DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, debt service coverage ratio, DSCR. Okay, so which is equal to the EAT plus interest plus non-cash expenses, that is depreciation, divided by preference dividend plus interest plus repayment obligation. Cash generated by the operations are compared with the total cash required for the service of the debt and preference share capital. So, what does it say? It says the cash generated by the operations are compared with the total cash required for the service of debt and preference share capital. It's not only debt. See, preference share capital and debt are fixed return instruments. Okay, so its ability to pay the fixed returns, that is interest in form of debt and dividend in form of preference shares. Higher DSCR is better ability to meet cash commitments. The 12th one is the stock market condition. If the stock market condition is bullish, that is it is going high, the stock market, all the indices are moving upward, then equity share can be easily issued. Okay, it is a good bullish sign. It goes because it bull will actually raise its head above and throw the victim, right? So it's like bullish, stock market goes up, so your market prices are high, then you can issue equity share, can be easily issued. But if it is bearish, that is bear will actually pull down its enemy, that is the victim, downwards. So when the markets are low, you have to opt for debt. The 13th factor is capital structure of other companies. Debt equity ratio of other companies is in the same industry is a useful guideline for planning the capital structure. However, industrial norms cannot be blindly followed. So capital structure of other companies, you have to follow those capital structure of other companies that are related to your type of industry. Say for example, automobile industry, you can look into the capital structure of Tata Motors or Mahindra and Mahindra. So debt equity ratio of other companies in the same industry is a useful guideline for planning the capital structure. However, you cannot blindly follow them. Okay, then regulatory framework, raising of funds from banks and other financial institutions require fulfillment of regulatory norms. So regulatory framework, raising of funds from banks and other financial institutions require fulfillment of regulatory norms. So these are the factors affecting the choice of capital structure. So we have completed the part under capital structure. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, class.